Lambo versus Henry. Excited to break this one down. Love the broadcast. Already got the names flipped, but this is Madden 26 most feared live event, and this is quarterfinal action. You have Lambo versus Henry. This is a rematch of the Ultimate Kickoff tournament, and we will see. Henry was able to defeat Lambo in that tournament and go on to win another belt. We'll see what Lambo is able to do. Lambo does get the ball first, and Henry's going to be on defense first. And we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Now, I believe that Henry is the best defensive mind in Madden has ever seen. And what we're going to be talking about as we break this down is what he is actually doing specifically on the defensive side of the ball. There's a lot to learn from how he's playing defense. Lambo is going to be a little bit unorthodox. He's going to do some things a little bit differently. So a lot to learn from the way that he plays the game as well. And yeah, it's going to be a great matchup. I don't know. We're still looking at the team here, but hopefully we'll be able to actually get into the game. Let's see. Have a lot of stuff to talk about the broadcast stuff, but in general. Oh, also, I will leave links to Henry and Lambo's sites and streams and all that stuff in the description. But I want to just real quickly highlight like the core of the game and in terms of like schematics and what you're going to see as they actually give us a quick glimpse into Henry's play art, which you really never see on MCS broadcast. They don't really show the defensive side of the ball for whatever reason, because people need as much help as they can get on defense, because this is the most offensive Madden we've ever seen. That being said, let's go ahead and go over this. The biggest thing is, I believe that Henry has 5 double or nothings across this D-line, but he is in the nickel 3-3 Cub. I did a full defensive ebook on the nickel 3-3 Cub. It is in our school community. That membership is available as well in the description. It's at the top of the description. Only $10 gets you access to everything that I know about Madden and college football. But this 3-3 Cub defense is the main defense that you're going to see Henry in, and the gist of the pressure concept is he is actually going to send 5. Now, the reason that he's going to be sending 5, and he will send 4 some as well, but he has 5 double or nothing. So even if the blitz doesn't come home, these guys will help kind of keep the quarterback in the pocket as well as be able to shed for him. Now, what he'll also do is he'll send 4. So he might send, these 4 like this. He might send 4 like this, for example. So there's a couple different ways in which he could go to some different send 4s, and he will be flipping his nickel corner as well. So that's something else to look for. But in general, that's kind of the core of the scheme. Lambo is still in doubles flex wild close. He was in normal wild close last year, doubles flex close this year. This is an offense a lot of people started the year in, but very quickly went to bunch X nasty. So Lambo is going to be basing out of this doubles flex, using a lot of play action, where he has this play PA snag. He can do a couple different things in terms of how he wants to utilize that. So anyway, that's kind of the core of the back and forth of the game, and then we'll kind of see how this goes. First and foremost, so as you see here, Henry is going to engage his user on a hook, and then he's trying to trigger this guy to come in home. He does not get the pressure in free, but Lambo gets out of there quickly and throws the ball to the flat on to the tight end. So really early here, we're already seeing, one of my biggest issues with the broadcast, and it is this. I talked about it on Twitter. If you don't follow me on Twitter, link in the description, post free tips there as well. They're going to go to this double box, and I think this is really, really ridiculous. I do appreciate that it's not the quad box that we had last live event, but this is really, really difficult in my opinion, because how can you get really immersed in this game when they keep bringing this game up? And they have a B stream, which is kind of interesting. So they have a B stream where they B streamed this game in entirety with no cuts. So this game you see with no cuts, this game you'll see with this quad box, and they'll actually eventually cut away from it. Why in the world would you do that when Henry is the most recognized player Madden has ever seen? Everybody knows Henry. Everybody wants to watch Henry. And yet you're going to let us get fully immersed in this game, even though it's technically the B stream. I just thought it was a ridiculous decision. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to bring in like the game breaks and stuff. They're just doing a terrible job of it. And I really frustrates me how they've handled these live events. They don't give, and I'm not actually advocating for you not to watch Abram and Asher. I'm going to do a breakdown on their game as well. My issue is they're not giving these players the spotlight that they deserve for being the best players in the world and the hype that this tournament does for their game. And so I just thought it was ridiculous. But anyway, I'm going to leave. I'm not going to really talk about that anymore, but I just think it's ridiculous. We're going to kind of stay focused on the Henry game here on the left-hand side, and you're going to see this in 4, and he is actually going to get the shed. So this is the biggest thing to look at here in this game, is how even when the blitz does not come in, he's going to get these kind of like D-line sheds because he has 5 double or nothings. He's putting all of his ability points on his defensive line, basically just trying to get a shed, trying to get the quarterback in the pocket is kind of his primary objective. Not going to be spending a lot of AP on the other stuff. So anyways, here, standard combo here, going to see there's a send 5, but nobody sheds. And, Lambo's able to get up there. And now you got him on a big 4th down. So again, big down in this game, 4th down, I guess, on both screens here. But we're going to be taking a look at this left side, see what Lambo decides to go to here. Again, Henry's hover is always on the running back side. Really interesting. I don't know why he wouldn't hover over here and get the pressure to come in. And maybe that's a run shoot thing or what. But there's the user rush. You see he's going to do the user rush. He then D-pad switches over here. And you're going to see that pressure come in clean. And then Lambo is going to overthrow over the top. So Henry's able to get the first stop of the game. And now we're going to see what Lambo's doing defensively as well. A lot of people, there are a lot of people in the community that have started to shift back to dollar. Reason being is primarily for the coverage aspect of it. And you're going to see they're just going to essentially rely on 3-man sheds because there's really no great blitz in this game outside of the 3-3 cub, double mug, some of that stuff. See, as you see here, they completely cut away from Henry's game, even though this game is being streamed in its entirety on their B stream. I thought this was super ridiculous. But anyway, we'll get back to the Henry game. All right, so they finally let us watch Henry, and you're going to see here, 1st and 10 on the 21, going to do a quick pass over the middle. And you've seen here what he's doing. So he's using this cover 4 palms, edge blitz, cover 6. Those are the different things that he's got going for him. He's got his safeties on close, putting that shell on the cover 2. And we get to look at Astro again. Astro is being streamed on both streams. Everybody's going to get to see Astro play this game. But anywho, trying to figure out what Henry's in. I think he's in Jets, actually. And if we go back up here real quick. Okay, he's in Bunch X. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure this is Jets because of that motion play that he has access to, which he's looking at going to here. But going to go to that and throws a covered player, but he completes it because it's Madden 26. Very nice. Yeah, he is definitely in Jets. So Henry has made the shift from Jags to Jets, which is surprising because Jags is what won him his first belt. One of the main reasons why he shifted to Jets is for the RPOs in both trips tight end offset and bunch tight end. Those RPOs are some of the best RPOs in the game. Another thing that Jets has an incredible red zone. You're going to see here this A slot. It has this play post. It has the base, QB power, RPO bubble. He probably came out in the play X spot. There's that bubble screen there and nothing doing. Good defense from Lambo. Lot to talk about, but man, the Jets offense seeming to be the offense that is taking over, and he should be looking to put that X spot play as he is going to put X spot in there. X spot has a short post on the tight end. Really, I mean, you could not design a better play for the red zone than X spot. It is such a good red zone passing play. But anyway, he's going to come out in Bunch X Nasty. He's got motion corner under here with a short corner on the left-hand side. And Lambo just going to basically do the send 3, as you see here, just sending 3, relying on his shed. Jaden Daniels going to scramble up. That's going to bring up a 3rd down and goal. Kind of an important down here. But what I think you're seeing, and this is the biggest thing that I was trying to highlight in some of the earlier breakdowns I did, is that the game is always going to kind of go to a conservative pressure with good zone coverage. Here, Lambo is in 3-4 odd. He can send a lot of pressure out of this. And you're going to see he's going to send 1, 2, 3, 4. So he's just going to send 4 here. And Henry goes with that slant post. And there it is. And that is that just amazing. That I'm telling you guys right now, you don't need any other red. If you master this combo, you don't need any other red zone combo ever. It is a flat route here. It is an in route here. It is a slant here. You got a little table route over here if you want that. And then you don't have to have that, by the way. And then you have either a tight end crosser, a tight end in route that you stem up, or a tight end post route. Any of those 3 routes. So what you're seeing here is Henry's looking over here. He has a little swing pass. He's got the slant, but you see the user's kind of sitting on that slant. And then look at this tight end. That tight end's going to get open kind of right in this little area. And then this little in route. So let's see, kind of what Lambo's user does. As you see here, Lambo's user goes to defend the tight end. Henry hits this soft window right here. He's able to get the first touchdown of the game. And he's able to start the game out by getting a defensive stop. Like, could not have started better for Henry in his in this tournament and in this belt defense that he is going to be going on here. All right, so we're going to we will be breaking down Abram and Asher in a separate video, so I'm going to fast forward to the next Henry game. All right, back to the Henry game here. So now we're going to get a good look at his defense, hopefully maybe even a little bit more than we already saw. You see this 3-3 cub. You see him hovering, kind of right in here. Here's the run. And that's why I think he's user in there, is because when he users on that side, I would assume he gets a better run shoot, because that blitz, you can use her on either side for the blitz aspect. Probably doing that more for a run shoot thing. Here's Lambo going to bunch X nasty, drive under with a little running back speed in. And you're going to see Henry is going to stay on his user and user rush. And good read by Lambo getting that seam streak out. So the biggest thing coming in this tournament, in my opinion, is the ability to contain the quarterback. Another thing you're seeing from Henry is you're seeing the majority zone coverage. Really interesting, because he ran a lot of man coverage in the first tournament, but really shifting more towards that zone coverage. And this is what I'm talking about how kind of the year goes on. And as you get these better players, as you get these better route runners, these better capabilities of beating man in zone consistently, you start to see zone coverage become much, much more of a meta. And you're seeing it consistently here. He's going to 1, 2, 3, 4. He sends 4, right? He's manning up individual players out of zone, but basically he's lurking right on that. Good read from Lambo. He hits the drag, and he's able to get upfield. Shout out to the double box. Just drives me crazy that they thought this was a good idea. But anywho, quick flat from Lambo. He loves those quick tight end flats, and he's going to do a good job of hitting that and getting the easy yardage there. All right. So now we've got, let's see here, another inside zone from Lambo, and good run, and he gets upfield for a couple of yards. So this is kind of a key situation for Lambo. Kind of needs 7, honestly, because Henry gets ball at halftime. With how offensive this game is, pretty much every pro player has talked about the state of this game. It's one of the most offensive Maddens we have literally ever seen, ever. And so just, kind of a big drive for Lambo. Again, a lot of these guys are in jets, by the way. A lot of the players, a lot of the guys that you're going to see in this event are going to be in jets, or they're going to be in Lions. Those are two of the pipeline. I would bet that Lambo is in jets, by the way. I think he's pretty much been in jets for most of the year. Now, Henry going to jump in dollar. Really surprising, but he does have that double or nothing blitzer right there. And he's going to get a really nice run shoot from that DT. And that was really a great way to stop that run there. Second down and 13. He's going to send that A-gap blitz out of SS zone. So what he's doing is he slants his line to the right. He's going to hover right here, and then he's going to try to get this guy to loop in. And you see no pressure from that, primarily because Lambo runs a lot of play action, and there's that post over there. The whole point of that defense, in my opinion, was to keep the quarterback in the pocket. Wasn't able to do it right there. He's able to get out of the pocket. And, shout out to the broadcast for making us watch a game that we could see on another broadcast completely in its entirety. Anywho, wing slot, offset, PA double post, and Henry going to set up to try to shoot this run here. This is a really, really good red zone formation, this wing slot. A lot of options down here. Lambo goes to kind of a trip tight end style play. And Henry, very probably frustrated right there, wasn't able to lurk it. I mean, that was a really tight window. Lambo hit it in. I mean, you see right here, it's a great switch stick. He switch sticks here. He's literally just going to dive right here. I mean, you could not really have switch sticked that any better. He's right in position, but he just kind of dumbs out, and for whatever reason, right, he is not going to be able to get it done. And Lambo's able to get 7, which brings up a very critical drive for Henry. 4 minutes and 23 seconds left. In these games tend to be a little bit more defensive because the stakes are so much higher. And so what tends to happen is, this is a really key situation for Henry to kind of decide how he wants to approach it. All right, so it looks like Henry ran the ball on first down, tried to get the clock moving, and it does appear to me that he's already setting this drive up as this is the last drive of half. I think that's what Henry wants to do, is he wants to take all of this second quarter and basically score and score going to halftime, and not give Lambo the ball back for an opportunity for a 2-minute drive. So interesting here. Lambeau's, and more than likely, right, Lambeau's going to play a little bit more aggressive defensively. He's going to play a little bit more aggressive defensively so that if Henry, makes a mistake, he would have to take a touchdown, or he basically could try to bait Henry into giving him the ball back. It's a very critical situation here, but he is going to go to 3-4 odd. We'll see what Henry decides to do. This 3-4 odd is good because you can send a lot of pressure out of it. It's hard to run on. It's really good against these compressed sets like bunch, doubles, any kind of like compressed set like this. It does a pretty decent job of. And Henry just going to do a good job of taking that quick flat. One of the things you watch Henry play, and you watch really any high-level passer play, they are going to never miss their underneath. They're going to always, if you are going to give them a layup throw, they are always going to hit it. So that's going to bring up a first down and 10 on the 33-yard line, and Henry is going to go to motion. Actually, it looks like he's going to audible over to bunch tight end for the spacing play. Has a really good table route to the running back here. And we'll see what Lambeau does defensively. Trying to loop, but really not getting any pressure whatsoever. Great completion from Henry. So again, clock management situation here, right? Henry is going to probably not snap the ball until under 2:30, so that when he snaps the ball, he can basically take this to the 2-minute warning. Could be a potential run call here in this situation here. Lambeau in dollar, and again, you see it like a shift, trying to loop. Actually went to a little RPO, kind of a cool little RPO play. That's kind of worst case scenario for Henry, honestly, not worst case scenario, but like, unfortunately, actually, no, because it's first half, it doesn't stop, so never mind. He's fine. And he'll just take this, you see, sipping of water, having a little beverage, thinking about things. He'll take this all the way down to the 2-minute warning, and that's going to bring up 3rd and inches for him. This is a very clear rundown. Normally, if you don't get the first down, it can get a little dicey though. So it's a big decision of what he's going to do here. You might see this bunch tight end RPO finally. No, he is just going to go to mesh with that quick flat drag route. Great read by Henry, able to just get upfield for a couple of yards, and he's able to stay in bounds, right? So this is going about as perfectly as you could want it to for Henry, in the sense of he's able to take a lot of clock. Lambeau's going to have to start calling timeouts. Henry's going to be strategic here. He's not going to try to get in the red zone, right? He's going to try to get those timeouts gone before. And shout out to the broadcast. Love to be able to watch that play right there that just happened. And this is why I can't stand when they do this. We're sitting here staring at these guys after a touchdown instead of watching Henry throw a big dot over the top for, a big game. He does get into the 22. So this is where it can get a little dicey. Henry has to be pretty strategic here because he has to take these timeouts in this clock management scenario. So he probably will run this ball, yes, inside zone, and that's going to bring up and now you see Lambeau's going to start to call timeout. So Lambeau's defensive strategy more than likely here is going to be, try to get as much pressure as possible, try to play really aggressive, and try to force Henry to either make a mistake or throw a touchdown so that Lambeau can then get the ball and with the ability to go try to score. But there's another little RPO. Unfortunately for Henry there, he gets pushed out. What's cool is, and what Henry is doing on these RPOs, you can hot route on them. So he calls an RPO play. He's hot routing this guy to a flat. He's hot routing this guy to a post or whatever, right? But what's really cool about this is watch this quarter flat and soft squat. Watch this. See how this quarter flat runs in? That's the RPO aspect. And Henry is reading this defender here. He sees he goes in. This is a free, 10 yards. And, not even really having to call anything, right? Able to just kind of, again, what I call layups, right? These are just layup plays. So love to see they fix the box there. RPO alert bubble. He really has not called it a single time. He's gone to mesh every single time. Really interesting. 3rd and 3, though, kind of a got to have it down here for Henry. He's going to go to mesh. And that tight end really messed up. And he's still going to throw it. He's still going to complete it, which is crazy. And now Lambeau gets the 4th down. So now the decision here for Henry. Do you try to convert this 4th down? If you convert this 4th down, more than likely, you're going to be able to close this half out. Do you take 3 here? Henry's going to choose to take 3 here. It is definitely a decision. What Henry is banking on is that he can at least hold Lambeau to 3 and not give Lambeau 7. This is primarily because he gets ball at halftime. If Henry did not get ball at halftime, I guarantee you he would go for that every single time. All right, so 2nd and 10 here for Lambeau. This is when they brought the game back up here, so we'll take a look and see what happens. Bunch X nasty audible. He's on the right hash here, so he's just gonna flip to wide side. Y flat goal line, this little sharp corner route. Lambeau's got to be really strategic. Lambeau is probably just playing for 3 here, I would think, more than likely. And Henry does a good job playing defense there. Lambeau, he's going to force a throwaway. It's a really, really big deal if Henry holds Lambeau to no points at all. If Lambeau, like, this is a really, really big possession. And you see that Henry is going to dollar in this instance. Really surprising, honestly. But we'll see how it works out for him, what he's actually going to be about here. We'll see if he's blitzed and whatnot. And you see right here, like, it's just a send 3. So it's 1, 2, send 3. And then he's basically just playing cover 4 hard flat with the yellows and trying to switch stick something. And there, that should have been a pick. You see his face. That should have been a pick. That's a bad read, and that should be punished. This is a really, really bad decision by Lambeau here. He's wide side, and this dude just lurks this. I mean, he might have been in cover 4 quarters now that I look at it. He might have been in cover 4 quarters. Might have been a match situation. Match will play that corner route way better than cover 4 drop. So he could have been mixing in a little cover 4 quarters there. Lambeau's going to punt here. Really bad. Really interesting decision here for Lambeau. So he's going to punt this ball. Henry has 23 seconds, okay? So what Lambeau is now doing is he's kind of doing the same thing that Henry is, maybe even more so. And Lambeau is basically saying, by punting this ball, I'm going to make sure that you're not going to get 3. And he actually lets the clock expire here. And now he is going to, or no. Okay, this is even dumber. Okay, this is all-time dumb in my opinion. So here's what he does. So he punts. He calls a timeout. Look at this. Lambeau calls a timeout. This is one of the dumbest decisions I think I've ever seen in a high-stakes game. Because here, and it might work out for him. But here's the problem. He's 4th and 10 from his own 40. If he gets stopped, it's guaranteed that Henry is going to get a field goal. It's literally guaranteed in the bag. He knows that. That's why you punt this ball here. Okay, that's why you punt this ball. However, you only have one timeout, and you're playing for a field goal. So here's the crazy thing. To call a timeout, to call your only timeout right there is really dumb, in my opinion. I love Lambeau as a player, but, like, why would you do that? Why would you call that timeout there? You might have even a better chance if you take a delay. So now he's going to go for it, and you can see a little bit of indecision there. A little bit of indecision, not knowing what he wanted to do, not necessarily, and this could come back to bite him. This is a really, in my opinion, just a very bad decision because even if he gets the first down, see, look at these plays. These are all over the middle of the field. They're all over the middle of the field here. So what Henry's going to do is he's going to say, okay, even if you complete this, like right in here, now you have a clock situation. So I just thought it was really off to me to do this, but we'll see what he ends up doing here. He's going to need to make a play. Henry knows that's the lurk, and there's the swat, and that very, very much so, that loses Lambeau the game. If Henry doesn't make a mistake the rest of the game, Lambeau just lost the game because he made a really, really, really bad decision. It wasn't just the time. It wasn't just the punt. I'm actually fine with you going for it there. What I thought was really bad was calling the timeout. Then you really hurt yourself. Even if you convert that, I think you put yourself in a bad spot. So anyway, that's a huge stop for Henry. He's able to get a second stop on Lambeau. And now, honestly, Henry just needs 3. He might go for 7. He's able to get out of pocket there with Daniels. He really just needs 3. I think he's pretty much got it wrapped up here. 34. He's got 3 timeouts. He's in complete control right now. He's going to be able to do really whatever he wants to do coming out of here in the second half. Because if he gets 3, the cool part about that is now he's up a touchdown essentially. And then, Lambeau's in a really bad spot there. Let's see if we just take the drag. And see, I hate that read right there. Kind of putting a little too much harm's way, but to me, you just take that drag, you get upfield, get out of bounds, maybe take one end zone shot, and then take your 3. But anywho, yeah, I just thought Lambeau really, that possession right there, it's going to cost him. It's going to cost him a lot. And in these games, you play people like Henry, you can't make these kind of little mistakes like that. Going to be a 4th and 4. Henry's going to take his field goal. He's going to go into half. And now it's going to be 13-7, but Henry gets ball out of half. So the next time Lambeau touches this ball, it very well could be 20. It would be 19, 20, 21-7, depending on, how this all plays out. So I just thought, I mean, even if Henry has to settle for a field goal on his next drive, he's still up 2 possessions in a very, very offensive base game. Second half of Henry and Lambo. It's going to start out with a bang here. You're going to see Lambo basically just get bombed over the top. It's a free touchdown, and Henry's going to go up by 2 possessions. Let's go ahead and back this tape up and take a look at what actually happens on the film here. So this is a massive, massive, massive play in this game, in my opinion, coming out first play. And you're going to basically see a pretty standard route combo, honestly. This is bunch tight end, and this is why you run bunch tight end. I believe that Lambo's in match. As you see here, you see the quarter flats. I believe Lambo's in match, and Henry's starting to recognize he's running a lot of match. Lambo likes to run match. That being said, here's what you're going to get. You're going to get a slot fade. You're going to get a corner route. This is a standard bunch tight end combo, by the way. Like, this is a combo you see all the time. And then you're going to get this seam streak. What happens in this game is this safety, this match coverage, is coded for this safety to bite down on this tight end route. And then when you have the slot fade corner, that's going to pull this quarter, and that's going to pull this quarter. So this player has to get all the way over here to defend this streak. So it's a match coverage beater. It's been a match bomb for a long time, several years. As you see how this guy bites down. See how this outside quarter gets pulled. The inside quarter gets pulled. And you see that outside quarter on the left side. He can't make up the difference. It's a free touchdown. And it's a massive, massive shift in this game. If you literally think about it, over the course of the last maybe 3 minutes, I want to say 3-ish minutes of real game, not even 3 minutes, literally probably the last like 90 seconds of gameplay, right? This game has completely flipped on its head. When it looked like Lambo was starting to have some momentum holding Henry to the field goal, now all of a sudden Henry comes back, 2 touchdowns, and some really poor decision-making from Lambo in terms of what he did at the end of half. I thought that was just really costly for him. But as you see it, you see it again here. See how that slot fade pulls this both quarters, and then this guy is going to be wide open over the top for a big play. All right, so let's see what is going on here. All right, let's see if we can not watch that game. And you see, kind of Lambo's face just in general, some of the setup there. But obviously, we weren't able to see a lot of this drive. But Lambo, this is what I call a stay alive drive. If Lambo does, and it does look like he did get stopped here, that must have been the reason for that facial expression. And Henry gets the ball back again, 20-7. Henry's rolling. This is at this point somewhat of it's not a complete blowout, but a very controlling win here from Henry in terms of how he finishes this. He's got to finish this drive, get up 3 possessions entirely. And here's that RPO. So as you see here, he has a streak, he has a flat. This is I think a really cool little thing. If you run Bunch X Nasty, you can hot route on these RPO plays and just take a look at what he's doing with it. And his read is this guy right here. He's going to look at that defender in conflict, which is that corner. So, I mean, if you watch this, let's see if he snaps this here. Let's just take a look at that slot corner, see what happens. Or I guess he's going to just take this down, sip his water on him, snap on one. There's a little bit of gamesmanship going on, more than likely in terms of what he's doing to Lambo here. But he is going to look out here. Now, Lambo actually has a hard flat. Henry going to throw right at this hard flat. Look at that post saying, please throw me the ball over the middle of the field. And he's just going to complete it. And you see, man, there's got to be something with Henry when he has I don't know if he has a tell or what, but when he touches his nose, I don't know what that means. That's got to mean something. But he definitely, that was a little bit more covered probably than he would have liked to throw there. But anywho, good scramble from JD5, gets upfield, and he's going to be at about the 13-yard line, 14-yard line. Basically, at this point, Henry is going to strategically clock this out, and we're going to see some really good stuff. Like if you ever get up and you need to finish a game, this is what you're going to see here from Henry. So this 3-4 odd look from Lambo with the pinch D line is kind of interesting. I don't know if that's more of a run. Here you see Lambo send the crib at him in man coverage. What's really interesting is to watch these players just throw the ball right at man coverage defenders, because it's actually open, because catching traffic in this game is absurd. You can't catch a wide open interception, but your receivers basically never drop the ball. Shout out to them basically breaking KOs. And you try to scramble up there with Jaden, but not able to do it. 3rd and 11 here. And there's the Astro Abram game. Really, both of the first games were fairly wide open in terms of how they're shaping up. But anywho, 20-7, going to get a flip here. Tight end wheel route on the right. Kind of a fun. I love this play. Little tight end wheel and then a little running back seam streaking behind it. I think that's a pretty decent combo this year. And then on the back end of this, you got a stemmed up curl and you got a post. I don't love that. I guess I get why you're doing it, but anyhow. So running back streak. This post holds that user, and Henry just trying to probably pepper right in that little pocket. Not going to risk it. Just going to scramble up there with Jaden. Gets a 4th and inches. Kind of an interesting decision here. My opinion, you go for this just because you're already up 2 possessions. You've taken so much clock. There's only about 5 minutes left in this game, I want to say. I think you probably go for this. It's hard to get a stop on 4th and inches in this game because of the quarterback runs, because of what he has in the Jets playbook. I think it definitely makes sense for him to go ahead and try to go for it. We'll see if he runs or passes. He's probably going to pass here, though. He's going to pass, and he's just going to trust those drags, and you see that meshing combination. That mesh combination, man, is Henry's go-to a lot this year, more so than I've seen him run really mesh in previous years. He's running a lot of mesh this year, double drags. Quarterback power here from Jaden. He's going to run this all the way down, and this would take us to the 4th, but Jaden's going to finish that drive off. He's going to get in there for 7. We'll see if Henry decides to go for 2 here. That is basically a victory sealing drive, if you will, from Henry. He is going to go for 2, try to make this a full-blown, or no, I guess it's a replay. See, maybe he just took his field goal. So yeah, it appears that Henry did just take his field goal, 27-7. And Henry really just honestly, really interesting how he played defense this game, because it was basically just dollar. He ran 3-3 cup for maybe a possession. I don't even know if he ran it for that second one. He didn't really run 3-3 cup a lot. It's a lot of this dollar. Look at this. And it's just sending 3. He's not even looping really. Like if you watch, it's just send 3. Look, 1, 2, 3. That's it. That's the complex. I mean, isn't that wild that here we are in a game and it's just send 3 and rely on a shed? Like just crazy. Now you're going to definitely need those abilities, right? That double or nothing, right? Even if you want to do that stack of double or nothing instant rebate or double or nothing buy one, get one, either one, like the double or nothing is really key. It's really key. If you're going to run a shed defense like this, you kind of got to have something to help these guys shed. Here he sends that linebacker, and you see that linebacker actually shed when he sends him out of dollar, which is kind of interesting. But anyway, yeah, just a really different way of playing defense. And I don't realistically know, is it really dollar versus Cub? I don't really know, because like Cub has a little bit more of a blitz threat, but you're seeing these sheds just go crazy. You see them get home again, and that's going to get Lambeau on a 4th and 25, and this is going to be basically GG's if he doesn't get this one. I mean, Henry might just straight up kneel it out, run the ball. And, I mean, really since the second drive of the game, Lambeau has really not been able to get anything going offensively really whatsoever. You can probably see those sheds there. And I think the one thing that is making some sense here, and Lambeau going to go ahead and get out of there, is those double or nothings and sending that pressure from a little bit of depth. But anyway, Henry is going to move on to the next round. And, yeah, thanks for watching. If you guys want to check any of those links out, they'll be down in the description.